Have you ever spent time marketing to someone, maybe developing a relationship with a client, and you ultimately decide, this is a market or this is a client who ultimately they just don't want to pay for stuff. They're kind of a cheapskate. If you can relate to that, then I think you're going to love this section because these concepts of lifetime customer value, acquisition cost, they're super important. And I think that you're going to find that this leads your mind to some really awesome places in terms of products, in terms of marketing strategies, in terms of priorities. So for example, what is customer acquisition cost or CAC? Well, it's the sum of the costs associated with attracting a new customer, including you and your team's time, not just money, right? What is lifetime customer value? So it's the total amount of revenue earned over the lifetime of a business relationship with a customer. I know you've already learned this, but I want to repeat it for you because I think it's super important. Now, what's the minimum gross margin? So this is the amount of money that a business must retain after subtracting the costs of acquiring customers, the CAC, in order to run the business. So I want you to be comparing personas, maybe even segments in your mind coming up, especially as you look at the excerpt from Maya's interview with Simon, and be thinking about this when you go through things like the LTV exercise. Be thinking about your persona and how you can sort of, apply these concepts to different groups of people, personas, or segments that you run into in your marketing efforts, right? So let's start building your intuition around LTV and things like gross margin, okay? So what would it mean, for example, if you had a LTV or a lifetime customer value of $260 per user? And you're gonna learn more about how to calculate this coming up. And your minimum gross margin is 30%, right? So that means that your cost of acquiring customers, your CAC, cannot exceed more than $182 per customer. Now there's a guide linked in the study guide for you. You're gonna go through this in the modules, but I really wanna build your intuition around this because I know it's a little bit of a hard concept. But what does that $182 CAC mean? Well, it means that's your budget for getting people from awareness to revenue, right? Because if you know or you have some level of confidence that an average customer is worth like $260 and you've got your gross margin, you can start to think about things like, what's my budget here? How can I deploy this budget at different parts of the funnel? And that should lead you to good experiment ideas, not only in terms of top of the funnel marketing, but also in terms of retention and lower funnel marketing. So let's move on.